Weddings are supposed to be about love, unity, fresh beginnings. Mine was about getting slapped across the face by my own sister, in front of 200 people. The Belmont Hotel ballroom in downtown Chicago sparkled like a Hallmark fever dream. Chandeliers, crystal flutes, a live string quartet, and enough white roses to make a florist retire early. My younger sister, Ashley, was the star of the evening, strutting around in a designer gown that cost more than my car, clinging to Travis, the Wall Street golden retriever she met 9 months ago. I was near the bar, sipping overpriced champagne and trying not to get roped into small talk with people who thought estate planning was sexy when I saw her approaching. Ashley's gown trailing like royalty, smile plastered on like she practiced it in the mirror. My mother, Linda, materialized out of thin air beside her in a navy dress I swear I'd seen on a Real Housewife. "Ryan, honey," she said sweetly, the kind of sweet that should come with a warning label. "Can we have a quick family chat? Is this the part where you disown me again?" I asked, because I forgot my gift bag. Then Dad arrived. Tom Walker, retired CPA, full-time professional disappointment artist, wearing a tux like he was about to audit God. "Ryan," he said with that weathered scowl, "we've been talking about your living situation. Here we go." "My living situation?" Ashley's smile widened. Travis hovered behind her like a nervous intern. "We're hoping you'll consider giving us your penthouse." I blinked. "I'm sorry." "Come again." Mom smiled like she was pitching me a timeshare scam. "Well, you're single. You don't need all that space, darling. Ashley and Travis are starting a family, and they need somewhere more appropriate." "They're not even pregnant," I said. "We're going to start trying right away," Ashley chirped. "We already picked names." "You've known this man for less time than my last gym membership," I muttered. Ashley tossed her curls. "We want your condo." "Let's be clear. I'm not talking about a bachelor pad with pizza boxes and a lava lamp. I spent a decade grinding through law school, associate misery, and eventually building my own boutique firm. 2 years ago, I bought myself a 3-bedroom penthouse overlooking Lake Michigan. My one guilty pleasure. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Exposed brick. The kind of view that makes bad days feel like background noise. "You want my penthouse?" I asked again, just to confirm I hadn't slipped into a coma. "It's just sitting there with all that unused space," Dad added. "You work all the time anyway. Ashley and Travis need it more. You want me to trade my life's work for a baby that hasn't even been conceived yet?" "You could take Travis's place," Mom said cheerfully. "It's a cozy studio in Skokie." "A studio in Skokie?" Ashley smirked. "It has granite countertops. I have a skyline view and a wine fridge that cost more than his car." "You're being dramatic," she said. "This is what family does. We help each other." "You mean I help you, and everyone else just takes?" Ashley stepped in close, fake compassion dripping from every word. "You've always resented me, Ryan. You hate that I'm getting married, that I'm having kids, and you're alone in your fancy condo." "I don't resent you," I said. "I just don't want to be robbed by you." "You think that place makes you better than us?" She snapped. "You think just because you work 90-hour weeks and skipped holidays, you get to keep everything?" "Well, yeah, that's kind of how jobs work." Her nostrils flared. "You're pathetic." And then, before I could even process it, her hand came flying. Crack. Right across my face. Loud enough to shut down the string quartet mid-song. My head whipped slightly, more from shock than force. The room went dead quiet. Every fork in the room froze mid-air. Then, a few gasps. A chuckle. A full-bodied laugh from someone near the gift table. "She really slapped him," I heard one guy say. "Damn." Ashley looked triumphant. "Maybe now you'll learn your place." I didn't move. I didn't say a word. My cheek stung. My pride stung worse. But I wasn't about to let this be the end of it. Oh no. I had a different plan. And it was going to make that slap look like a love tap. I stood in that ballroom, cheek throbbing, ears ringing, as 200 guests hovered between stunned silence and awkward snickering. Ashley stood in front of me, smug and glowing, like slapping me was just the first item on her registry. Behind her, my parents watched in total silence. No concern, no apology, just waiting to see if I'd finally break. But I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't storm off like they were probably expecting. I reached into my jacket, pulled out my phone, and started typing. "Ryan, what are you doing?" my mother hissed, stepping closer. I didn't answer. My thumbs moved fast. Years of legal briefs and emergency client filings made me a master of fast, surgical texting. I opened my group chat, one I'd built over the years with fellow lawyers, media friends, business clients, and a few strategic courthouse clerks who owed me favors. And I wrote. At my sister's wedding, she and my parents just demanded I hand over my penthouse to her and her new husband. When I refused, she slapped me in front of 200 guests. People laughed. Just FYI. Then I hit send. Buzz. Buzz, buzz. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Ryan. Dad barked. Put that away. You're embarrassing yourself. I looked up from the screen and gave him a tight smile. No, Tom. I'm making sure this circus isn't just something whispered about at the hair salon. Ashley stepped in, her voice sharp now. You're blowing this out of proportion. Am I? Because that slap just became Exhibit A. You're overreacting, she snapped. I'm reacting. Period. Something you all clearly aren't used to. That's when the whispers began. People around us had started lowering their glasses. The laughter had stopped, and out of the crowd emerged someone unexpected, Judge Lillian Pierce. Chicago royalty in the legal world, with a voice that could make seasoned attorneys wet themselves. She glanced at me, then at Ashley, then at my parents. Ryan, are you all right? I'm good, Judge, I said. Just got physically assaulted in a tux, that's all. Ashley turned pale. This isn't what it looks like. It looked exactly like what it was, Judge Pierce interrupted coldly. I watched the entire thing, and I'm disgusted. Dad's face turned red, like someone had turned up his internal thermostat. Buzz. My phone lit up again. Eli Turner. Just saw the video. You okay? Want to go on record? Ashley lunged forward. What video? I turned the phone so they could all see it. A crystal-clear clip of her slapping me, caught from 3 different angles by helpful guests who were apparently better at journalism than wedding etiquette. That hashtag you created for the wedding? It's now attached to a trending video of you hitting your brother. You're welcome. Mom stepped forward, panic creeping in. Ryan, delete that. Please. I shook my head. Too late. You know how the internet works. You wanted attention. Now you've got it. Ryan, please, Ashley said, her voice cracking. I didn't mean it. I was just overwhelmed. You slapped me. In a ballroom. In front of 2 judges, a reporter, and probably someone's uncle live streaming this to Facebook. Travis finally opened his mouth, clearly regretting his life choices. Maybe we can talk this out. This was a misunderstanding. I looked at him with pity. You married into the wrong family, man. My phone vibrated again, this time, a message from Carla Dorsey, the best reputation management attorney in the Midwest. Carla. Just saw the footage. If you want to nuke them professionally, I'll do it pro bono. Ashley's face turned ghost white. I ducked my phone away and looked at all of them. You picked the wrong guy to try and humiliate. And then, with the whole ballroom watching, I casually strolled to the dessert table. Because revenge is sweet, but red velvet cake is sweeter. I was halfway through a glorious slice of red velvet cake when Ashley's meltdown began. She'd spent the last 10 minutes hissing at Travis in the corner, mascara streaking, gesturing like a politician mid-scandal. Meanwhile, my parents were trying to do damage control with the guests, most of whom looked like they wanted to vanish into the pastry tower. I didn't move from my seat. If this was going to implode, I wanted a front row view, with dessert. A tap on my shoulder. I turned and saw Judge Pierce again, this time holding a half-empty glass of bourbon. Ryan, she said, lowering her voice, if you need a witness affidavit for what happened, I'm more than happy to provide one. I blinked. You're offering to testify? At a wedding. She took a sip. You think I sat through 3 decades of petty motions just to miss a live performance like that? Besides, your sister laid hands on you. That wasn't just a family spat. That was assault. Thanks, Judge. I'll keep that in my back pocket. I mean it, she said, narrowing her eyes at Ashley across the room. Entitlement like that deserves a good legal reckoning. My phone buzzed again. This time, it was a group chat of former clients and law school buddies, most of whom were now power players in Chicago's business scene. Liam G. Dude, this is going viral. You good? Maya B. She slapped you. Are you pressing charges? Eli Turner. Still holding the piece for the Tribune. Say the word. Ashley marched over, heels clacking like gunshots. Ryan, we need to talk. Now. I set my fork down. I think we're past the talking stage, don't you? Her voice dropped into PR mode. Smile tight, words sugary but venom-laced. Look, I made a mistake. I was emotional. It's my wedding day, for God's sake. Emotional people cry. They don't throw hands. I said I was sorry. No, you didn't. You said you were overwhelmed. Then you tried to downplay it in front of a judge. Her nostrils flared. Why are you doing this? I leaned in slightly. Doing what? refusing to hand over my home like it's a party favor? Behind her, Travis was talking to one of the groomsmen and looking like he wanted to disappear into a linen napkin. My parents joined the circle. Mom's face was pale, and Dad's jaw was set like concrete. Linda spoke first. Ryan, we all got heated. Let's just move forward. You watched your daughter slap me across the face and said nothing. It's not like she punched you, Tom grumbled. Judge Pierce's voice cut in, crisp and cold. Are you implying there's a minimum violence requirement for it to matter? Tom's mouth snapped shut. Ashley's fake composure cracked. Ryan, do you realize what you're doing to us? The whispers, the guests leaving early, the fact that TMZ is calling my PR agency? Good. Maybe you'll get some brand awareness. She clenched her fists. You've always been this way. Difficult. Arrogant. Acting like your success gives you the right to talk down to everyone else. Newsflash. I don't talk down to people. I just don't let people step on me anymore. My phone buzzed again. This time, it was from Carla Dorsey. Getting calls from outlets already. Want me to draft a preemptive media statement? I looked back at Ashley and smiled. Tell me something, Ash. If you'd asked me nicely, if you'd come to me like a human being instead of a hyena in a veil, do you think I might have helped you? Her voice caught. Would you? Maybe, I said. We'll never know now, will we? The ballroom had gone tense again. Waitstaff were clearing tables faster than ever. Guests were doing that thing where they pretend to look at their watches like they're late for flights they never booked. My dad finally spoke. Ryan, what do you want from us? I want you to stop pretending this is normal. That I'm the villain because I didn't hand over my home. That it's okay to get slapped in public because family. You're blowing this up, Ashley snapped. You're ruining everything. No, I said calmly. I'm just not letting you ruin me. And with that, I walked away again. Still hungry. Still holding my cake. But this time, I was smiling. By the time I got home that night, my phone had 87 unread messages and 14 missed calls. A few were from friends. The rest were from numbers I didn't recognize, journalists probably. And the subject line of one email just read, Your sister slapped you? Want a comment? TMZ. Yeah, it was that kind of night. When I stepped into my penthouse, the one Ashley and my parents thought was community property, the city skyline hit me like a sigh of relief. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Calm. Solitude. Zero slap-happy brights. I took off my blazer, loosened my tie, and poured myself a drink. My cheek was still a little red, but emotionally, I was crystal clear. The group chats were on fire. People I hadn't talked to in years were suddenly checking in. Former interns. Judges. My ex from law school. Hell, even my childhood orthodontist sent a thumbs-up emoji. But my favorite message? It was from Carla Dorsey, who was now fielding media requests for me like I was the latest Marvel reboot. Carla, you want to stay quiet or lean in? Either way, I've got you covered. I replied. Keep it neutral. Let them eat each other alive. I was halfway through my whiskey when my assistant Megan called from her personal number. Ryan, sorry to bug you on a Saturday night, but my phone hasn't stopped ringing. Media. Everyone. Page 6. Chicago Magazine. CNN. Even NPR is nosing around asking if you'd like to talk about toxic family dynamics in the professional world. I laughed. Tell them I'm detoxing with bourbon and cake. She snorted. Do you want to issue a statement? Yeah. Something simple. Just say I appreciate the support. I'm focusing on my work, and I'm not making any further public comment. For now. Got it. Oh, and your firm's Instagram account gained 4,000 followers in the last 6 hours. I blinked. Wait. What? You're trending, Ryan. And not in the caught-on-camera doing something idiotic way. People are calling you the lawyer who stood his ground. I ended the call and sank into my couch. They had tried to publicly humiliate me. Instead, they handed me a reputation upgrade on a silver platter. Meanwhile, I checked Ashley's socials. Her wedding hashtag had been hijacked. The top posts were clips of the slap, slowed down like the Zapruder film. Comments were brutal. She hit her own brother? On camera? By entitled much? This man was eating cake during the aftermath. King behavior. It was getting out of control, and I wasn't even trying. By morning, I had voicemails from reporters asking if I was planning to press charges. One even asked if I'd be open to turning the whole thing into a docuseries. But the one that threw me? A call from Judge Pierce herself. Ryan, she said, I just wanted to say you handled yourself with restraint. That's rare, especially in front of an audience. Thanks, Judge. Still didn't expect it to go. You know, global. Well, it struck a nerve. The world's full of people with families like yours. People who get guilt, gaslit, and treated like ATMs. She paused. I've seen abuse in a lot of forms. Yours? It's the kind that hides in plain sight. But that slap? That exposed it. Now you get to decide what comes next. After we hung up, I sat there for a long time, thinking. My parents hadn't called. Not once. But Ashley had. 8 times. No voicemails. Just her name blinking like a mosquito you can't swat. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. The silence was doing more damage than any statement ever could. The first time I answered Ashley's call, it was a week after the wedding, and only because I was curious how she tried to spin it. She sounded like she hadn't slept in days. Her voice cracked on the second hello. Ryan, please. I know you're mad. Mad? I said, flipping through emails. I'm not mad. I'm just unavailable for family nonsense. She launched into a full-blown plea. The video ruined everything. My job suspended. Travis's firm is under review. I'm getting death threats on Instagram. I sipped my coffee. People get sensitive when they see someone assault their own brother in a white gown. That was a mistake, she cried. I was under pressure. You humiliated me. You slapped me. I told the truth. That's not humiliation. That's exposure. Silence. Then the inevitable. I'm sorry. No, you're not, I said calmly. You're sorry for the consequences, not the action. I didn't mean to hit you. Yes, you did, I cut in. And you didn't mean for it to become public. That's the part that scares you. Her voice got small. We're family. No, I said. We're people who share a bloodline and nothing else. Don't say that. You're my brother. And you're the person who tried to take everything I've worked for and slapped me when I said no. You don't get to hide behind the word family after that. She begged. What can I do to fix this? I looked around my condo, the one she called a waste of space, and said, nothing. This isn't a misunderstanding. This is clarity. That night, I got a text from my dad. Tom, we should talk. Maybe family therapy. Therapy? Now they wanted reconciliation because the optics were bad? I didn't reply. Instead, I called Emily, my friend from law school and someone who knew the full story. I finally did it, I told her. I drew the line. Emily didn't hesitate. You should have drawn it years ago, but I'm glad you did it now. I leaned back into my couch, letting the view of Lake Michigan soak into my chest. This silence, I said, it feels good. Like a detox. You finally gave yourself permission to stop bleeding for people who wouldn't hand you a bandage. That hit harder than expected. Because she was right. The more I thought about it, the more I realized this wasn't about a slap or a condo. It was about years of being the default disappointment. The silent son. The fallback wallet. They never saw me as Ryan. Just as an asset. And now that I'd stopped playing along, they were unraveling. And I wasn't going back to patch it up. 6 months later, I hadn't heard from Ashley. Or my parents. Not even a birthday text from Mom, who used to send Walmart e-cards with Bible verses on them, even when she was mad. It was blissful. The world had moved on from #WeddingSlapgate, but some damage couldn't be undone. Ashley and Travis got divorced 3 months in. Their employers were polite in public but ruthless in private. I heard from a friend in PR that Ashley couldn't get hired anywhere that didn't require a hairnet and a name tag. Travis, apparently, relocated to Arizona and now sells financial coaching on TikTok, which feels karmic. My parents had quietly lost their country club membership. Rumor was they'd been uninvited from 3 holiday parties and encouraged to take a social pause. And me? I was thriving. My law practice picked up 5 new clients just from the slap going viral. They said they admired how I didn't cave, that I set a boundary and made it stick. Funny how telling the truth became a business model. My penthouse never felt more like home. The 3rd bedroom I was wasting got converted into a home office. The 2nd one became a guest room for friends who didn't hit me in front of judges and cell phone cameras. One night, around midnight, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I let it ring. A voicemail came in seconds later. Ryan, Ashley's voice crackled through. I wanted you to know I'm sorry. For real. I miss you. I miss us. I was stupid, and I ruined everything. You didn't deserve any of it. I don't even recognize who I was that night. Click. I deleted the message. Not because I didn't believe her, but because I no longer needed an apology to move on. Forgiveness, I'd learned, didn't mean reentry. You could let go of the grudge without opening the door again. And some doors are better left shut, bolted, and bricked over. I stood by the window, looking out over Lake Michigan, lights from the boats blinking across the water. The city hummed below, indifferent and endless. For the first time in my life, I wasn't anyone's emotional punching bag. Not the spare son. Not the silent ATM. Not the one expected to give everything because he's strong, he can handle it. I finally said no. And they finally believed me. Some nights, I still think about it. The slap, the laughs, the look on Ashley's face when she realized I wasn't going to fold. She thought she won that night. But I left the ballroom with my dignity. And the silence that followed? It was the best gift they never meant to give me.